Alright boys, in this video we're going to show you exactly how to release a successful sample pack or loop kit so you can start getting placements, collab sales, and turn your passion into a full-time living. Boys, this is the most in-depth guide you're going to find on YouTube about releasing a sample pack. Since the start of International, we've released shit tons of loop kits, so we know exactly what it takes to release a successful loop kit. Boys, make sure you take some notes from this video. Let's jump into it. Alright boys, first step, and it's obviously the most important, and that is making loops. Boys, you need to be always practicing making loops, making samples. You will never be too good, your loops will never be too good. People don't use shit loops for their beats, unless they're shit beat makers, and you don't want to be associating with shit beat makers because they make no sales. Boys, just check with a producer friend, send them your loops, ask for their honest feedback. If you don't have any friends in the music industry, join our Discord. Our Discord is full of hustlers, making music, helping each other, giving feedback, sending out loops, all this. So join our Discord. It'll be the first link in the description. Boys, I know you've probably heard this so many times, it's so boring, but good quality loops take time. There's no need to try and shortcut loop making. Just take your time and work on your craft. Boys, we've got heaps of tutorials on our YouTube channel going in depth about how to make samples, breaking down our own samples. We've had so many people reach out to us on Instagram, on email, thanking us for the loop videos and all the value that we put into them. So boys, whether you're just starting making loops or you're just trying to improve, go check those tutorials out. There's so much sauce in them. As you guys know, we don't do any gatekeeping. We give all the values, every single effect, all the sauce. So boys, you're always going to be slightly biased to liking your own loops. So when we first started, we were making Jersey Club loops. We thought they were sick. Look back on them now, they're fucking so shit. And even when we transitioned to Don Toliver, Travis Scott loops, it was only about 3 months ago where we realized, okay, there was a change. Our loops actually started to get good. And then so 3 months then on, loops started to get better. There's still some shit ones in there. We still make shit ones now. We don't release them, we just make another one. We're always working, always trying to improve. It's an endless road, there's endless ways to be more creative, to improve and make better samples. Alright boys, step number 2, arranging and exporting your sample. We're about to jump into one of our FLPs for one of our previous samples to show you exactly how to do this, but these are the key points you need to know. So firstly, you need 3 to 4 8-bar sections that are slightly unique in your samples. We've talked about this before in our loop tutorials, but it just makes it super easy for the beatmaker to put drums over it. Boys, you don't want to be that guy who's just got a boring 8-bar sample. Secondly, you're going to stem out your samples with 8 bars of each layer of your loop. It's important not to fuck the step up. We're going to show you how to do this soon. And finally, exporting your loop as an MP3 and WAV with your sample name, BPM, key, and your Instagram handle. We'll show you exactly how to do that. Alright boys, we're in FL now. This is one of our loops we did with C-Sky. Shout out C-Sky, the sample's hard as fuck. So you can see here, we've got 4 different 8-bar sections. We've got our intro, going 1 till 9, that's 8 bars, 9 till 17, 17 till 25, 25 till 33. So we've got 4 different 8-bar sections. All sections are slightly different with different layers, giving the beatmaker more to work with. Alright, so you can see our stems here. We've got 8 bars of each layer. We've got 2 bars in between each gap. So you can see here, 2 bars before the stems start, and 2 bars again between each layer. This is to stop the reverb or delay or just the sound bleeding into the next stem, ruining the stems. At the very end, we just do a 1-bar gap just so the audio doesn't cut out straight away. Again, it's just making the stems as clean as possible for the beatmaker, giving them the perfect loop to work with. Alright boys, we're gonna go ahead and export this, show you exactly how to do that. So, File, Export, click on Wave. You're going to title it. So this loop is called Blacklist. So this is how we label our samples. You can use different fonts, different hyphens, whatever. We do a little dash, space, BPM. This is 126, space, D sharp minor, another space, and then we do our Instagram handle, International Club. So if you're doing loops by yourself, that's what it's going to look like, obviously, with your Instagram handle. This was a collab loop, so we go X and then at C-Sky Beats, which is his Instagram handle. Make sure you do that if you're collabing with somebody, just so people know it's 2 people on the loop. Alright boys, at this stage you export it into your loop kit folder. So we'll go save, and then you export as WAV, and make sure you click MP3 as well. We do this because we use our WAV file for the loop kit, and we use MP3s to send out for weeklies and to anybody who wants to use the loop. It saves you having to re-export it and go back into your project after you've exported it as a WAV. So you're going to click start, let that render out, and that's done. Step number 3, quantity of loops, terms, zip, and title. It's time to get that pack together. So with your samples, we would recommend from our experience of doing packs to have no less than 8 samples and no more than 15. However, these are our recommendations for doing free kits. If you're doing paid kits, that's a different story. You probably would want to do a bit more than 15. Boys, when you're doing your terms, you need to make sure you include your email, your conditions for splits, your beat stars name, YouTube channel, and also Instagram name. Make sure it's laid out so it's easy to read read, and all the information that is important is in that document or PDF. Boys, to make everything as simple for you as possible, if you don't have the terms of use yet, we've got our PDF for the exact terms of use that we use for our kits in the description. So if you need some inspiration, if you need some ideas, or if you just want to copy our terms of use, they'll be in the description for you guys to check out, completely free. Alright boys, we're now on the clean desktop, pop on the middle. We're going to show you exactly how to zip up your sample pack. So firstly, you're going to need your folder. You want your folder to have all your samples as WAV files inside of it. You want your terms of use, and if you're to tag, put that in there as well. So we've got 12 items in there, 10 samples, terms of use, and our tag. Boys, before you zip your folder up, listen to the loop spec, make sure you didn't make any mistakes during exporting, read the terms of use, make sure they're good, just make sure the pack is exactly how it's meant to be. Boys, if you're on Windows like me, you need to download RAR, and this allows you to export your sample pack as a zip file. Super simple. Right click on your folder, you go add to Imperium loop kit. There's our next loop kit coming out. This will load out and it will just pop down just down the bottom here of your screen. From there, you can just upload that straight into your sample pack website. Good to go now.
Step number 4, cover art. Your cover art is hugely important because it's the make or break moment where people decide if they click on your loop kit or if they skip it. The best thing to do here is obviously to learn how to make this on your own, so you're not paying someone else to do it and you can be fully self-sufficient. For us, fortunately, we have a talented friend who is sick at these cover arts, so whenever we have a loop kit, we get him around or we send him our ideas and he sources up a loop kit cover for us and we're good to go. So you can learn how to make these on Photoshop yourself. You could use something like Canva, or you could shortcut this by using AI. You can use the AI tool DALL-E that generates unique art. You give it prompts and it gives you cool art. We used to use this back in the day before we started getting our friend to do our loop kit covers, and it does work, but often with the image it gives you, you might want to chuck it in Canva and then add some text, your name, whatever. And the other thing you could do is go on Pinterest, and Pinterest just has shit tons of sick photos that you don't find on Google. A lot of people will grab an image from Pinterest and just use that as their cover, but I think you can do a better job than that. Bring it into Canva. Canva's free. Canva's limited with the fonts, so again, if you go into Photoshop, you'll have more fonts to deal with. And with those tools, you should be able to come up with a cool loop kit cover for your next loop kit. Once you do come up with a cover, please send it to your friends, send it to other producers, make sure they think it's sick as well, because a lot of people make stuff, release it, and it just looks like shit. Again, Discord's there. There's heaps of people who can help you out with the cover art and give you advice on your own cover art.
Alright boys, step 5, creating your landing page and Rekoknise link. We use Payhip and we're going to be showing you how to do this with Payhip because it's free and it's super easy to use. It collects emails and shows you who downloads and the quantity of downloads for your sample pack. This is good data to have, and having emails is super valuable down the line as you can sell to them in the future, do email marketing, and just send more loops out that you make in the future to your audience of customers. Alright boys, so make your Payhip account. It's completely free. You'll be left on a page. You go up here, go products, and then click on create a digital product. So firstly, as we showed you before, you want your zip folder to be on your desktop, and just click on your loop kit. It will upload. That means when people download your kit, they're going to get whatever you upload in this section here. From there, you want to have your title. This is how we title ours. So we've got 10 is the amount of loops we've got, international, dash, and then Imperium loop kit, the name of our sample pack. Price, this is a free kit, so we leave it at 0. If you're doing paid kit, you can also use Payhip, and you add whatever price you're going to be charging for this loop kit. Product image, this is just going to be a cover art for your YouTube. Use the exact same, super easy, upload straight into that. Boys, you can also embed audio and video. You just put the loop kit YouTube link into here. People can preview the loops that are going to be inside the sample pack. Next, you've got your description. This isn't super important, but it is good to have something there. We're going to have this exact text as a link in the description so you guys can copy it, use it for your things, change around the words that need to be changed for your loop kit. Next, when you're uploading your actual sample pack, you want to select this to visible. We're keeping it invisible for now because we haven't released it yet. Under advanced options here, we check automatically subscribe customers to mailing list. So we've got this linked in with MailChimp. It's free to sign up to MailChimp, and this just collects the emails and a big contact list. We've got thousands of emails in our contact list now. We haven't used it yet, but it's just good to know who's downloading your loops and how you can contact them. To set that up, just go into MailChimp, sign up to a free account, and link this in with Payhip. Just go through, check you've got everything right, you've uploaded the right zip file, you've got your cover art, you've added your YouTube link to your sample pack video, your description's there, it's set to visible, and make sure all the settings are just done. After that, save changes, and it's live. Boys, if this is your first time using Payhip, the stock Payhip store looks like absolute shit, so you want to go into your store builder and customize your website a little bit to make it look way better and more appealing to the customers. This is what ours looks like right now. It looks better than the stock store. You can click on a loop kit, and if you go over here, and now you can check out the YouTube video. Alright boys, lastly, before you make your YouTube video live, make sure you've got a Rekoknise link. Boys, your Rekoknise page is like the firewall to get from your YouTube video to downloading the sample pack on Payhip. Payhip. It's completely free to use. Basically, all you have to do, put in your Payhip product link, so the exact website link to your loop kit, and then put in the steps that the customer has to do before they get the sample pack. We like to do subscribe and like video, but you can also do follow Instagram, follow on Twitter. You can choose what's going to be best for you. So boys, the Rekoknise link is going to act as the download sample pack link in your description. Step 6, creating your sample pack video to upload to YouTube. All you need to make this video is an MP3 of your soundtrack showcasing your loops, adding your cover art over the top, and exporting as an MP4 to then upload to YouTube. We're going to run you through exactly how to do each step right now, starting with the soundtrack. Alright boys, this is one of our soundtracks for our past sample packs. We selected 6 of our best samples from that pack to put in the soundtrack. Make sure you're putting your hardest ones in so people want to download it. It's also good to not have every single sample in it because it creates a bit of mystery and it makes people want to download it more, and also the videos can just get too long. So we've got our 6 samples in here. They're all 16 bars and they just go one after the other with a little swoosh effect in between. This just makes it nicer sounding for the listener. So nice little effect there. We've also got our tag at the start and at the end. It's just a cool transition. People know it's ours. Super simple. From here, you export this as an MP3 file, export MP3. Let's move on to the next step. Alright boys, now that you've got your soundtrack, you need your cover art to go over the top. It's best to do this in a video editing software. Something like DaVinci Resolve is free and super easy to use. We use Final Cut, but all you need to do is just add your cover art over your soundtrack, add some VFX here and there if you want to. Export that as an MP4. It's ready to go, uploaded to YouTube.
Step 7, uploading to YouTube. Now that you've got your MP4 with the audio of the loops and your cover art, it's time to upload it to YouTube. When uploading to YouTube, it's important to have a clean thumbnail of your loop kit cover. Sometimes you can even bring your loop kit cover into Canva, add some more effects, make it pop a bit more for the thumbnail. Make sure it's really clickable for other producers. For your title, just see what other loop makers are doing for their kits and take inspiration from that. For your tags, the best thing you can do, find loop kits on YouTube that are in the same niche as your loop kit and rip the tags from their description. If you don't want to do it from theirs, rip it from ours, we don't care. With your description of your loop kit YouTube video, it's important to have the Rekoknise link at the very top, so when people are watching the video, the link's right there, they can click on it easily, they don't have to scroll and try find it in the description. With the Rekoknise link, also have it as a pinned comment. This makes it super easy for producers to find the download link. Now with the description, the other things you need to have in there are your email, your Instagram, some basic terms so people know that these loops aren't royalty free, that they are 50-50, the names of any producers you've collabed with, and any other important information that you can think of. We've never uploaded our loop kit at a certain time because we thought it was going to perform better. We've done it at completely random times every time. There may be truth to your upload time, we don't know, but from our experience, it doesn't really matter what time you upload your loop kit. Posting your loop kit on your Instagram and your Instagram story. If you watch our videos, you know that your Instagram should be popping. You need to use your Instagram as your business card every day. Always have shit on your story. It is just free promotion for your brand. With your loop kit, as soon as you've posted it on YouTube, go into your Instagram story, put the loop kit cover, say just dropped a new loop kit, put the link to the YouTube, and then producers can easily click on the link, go to your YouTube video. It's just another way of getting your loop kit out there. Another thing you can do, we only do it if we think we've made a really high quality loop kit, but you can do a full post on Instagram of your kit. You can do this on Canva, just put your cover art as a square, add audio underneath, export each slide, and you can put them in a carousel post on Instagram. It's just more attention and another way to promote your loop pack.
Email outreach. Boys, if you haven't watched our video, how to send loops for placements already, go watch that right now. It goes in depth on how to send emails with your loops, everything you need to know, every step of the way. There's so many people who won't download your kit, who won't find you on YouTube, so using email outreach as a tool will help you get out to a bigger audience. Boys, make sure you send the right loops to the right people. Since that video 3 months ago, the only thing we have changed is we are more specific with what loops we send to what producers. We used to just send the same 3 or 4 loops to every single producer in our list. However, that's not the right way to do email outreach. You need to be super specific and super niched with what loops you send to people. When we do sends now, we may even be sending just singular emails to one producer at a time, just so we make sure they're getting the right loops. Boys, we are thinking of changing to Dropbox soon, because even sending MP3s, it does clog up producers' inboxes over time. We haven't made this change yet, but in the near future, we're probably going to do this. Boys, we just wanted to let you know what we're doing. We always want to be super authentic with you guys. Discrod Outreach. Boys, these are just small, simple ways that will just help get your loops to so many more people than you could ever do with just YouTube. Discord is a fucking goldmine for loop makers trying to get their loops out there. So join as many Discords as you can. Post your loops. We've got ours. You can post your loops in there. Make sure you're putting the right loops in the right channels and you're not just spamming random channels. Get active. Get known in the Discords as the hardest loop maker there is. creating starters. Boys, this is just another way to take your output a step further and create starters from your loops. So literally, once you finish the loop, you grab the stems and make a starter from them. This won't be applicable with all your loops, just the hard ones, so make sure you're picky with what loops and stems you use. Play around with the pitch, play around with the BPM, spend a bit of time making it sound a little bit different, export these as MP3s, stem them out just like you would with loops, and now you can also send to loop makers as well as your loops to beat makers. Boys, we've made about 30 starters with our loops and we've sent them out, we've got people using them, we get new collabs with them. This is such a good way to get your brand out there, collab with more people, and build new connections. From now on, we're not going to be creating starters from our own loops. We still will be making starters because it's such a good way to just work with other people and get more collabs. But there is nothing wrong with doing it for yourself, making starters from your loops, especially if you're starting out. It's just such a great way to maximize your output.
Collabing. As a loop maker, it is crucial that you collab with other producers in the music industry, especially other loop makers. Make sure you go out of your way to spend time DMing new producers, DMing new loop makers, finding new loop makers on YouTube, and building relationships with these people in Instagram DMs. With these relationships, you can start to send starters and receive starters from these loop makers, send them out to both your connections, and get more collab sales. It's overall just a net win. In the last 2 months, we've been ruthlessly collabing with loop makers and producers, and we've noticed our progression just skyrocketing since we've been collabing more often. We have a full video on networking where we covered the 3 main secrets to networking that have helped us the most. We seriously recommend you watch that video. The link will be in the description.
Alright boys, finally, we've put this at the end because it's super cliche. But consistency will take you from where you are now to that full-time living, being a successful music producer. The sad reality of this video is that most of you watching will never actually be able to make it as a full-time producer because you just won't stay in the game long enough to see those rewards. The truth is, you've got to pour your heart and soul into your music business and have a massive passion for the music because it takes months and months to start seeing any sales, it takes years to build a brand, grow connections, and turn it into a full-time living. Boys, you got to remember to enjoy the journey. Enjoy each day you're making music. Enjoy the days that are shit where you can't make music. You just gotta keep hustling it out and realize it's only sick because you can look back on those years you were hustling, making no money, not knowing if you're even gonna make it. Boys, if you've watched up until now, you're already far more likely to make it as a producer than those others who just clicked off in the first 2, 4, 6 minutes. Keep investing in your education about business, about music, and keep working on those loops. Hustle it out, stay consistent. If you have watched the video this far and you are a beat maker, check out our second channel. We've got heaps and heaps of loops on there. They're fucking hard. Go check them out. Boys, all the links to all the free tools in this video are in the description. Producer G's Discord in the description. Boys, we truly hope you found some value from this video. We spent hours planning and recording this video, so we hope you can implement this information into your sample packs from now and all your sample packs in the future. That's it for today's video. Cheers for watching, boys. We'll see you in the next video.